This year is almost ending, which means we are in the best part of the year for game releases. Not only we are getting huge releases for the PlayStation, but also for the Nintendo, Pokémon, Scarlet and Violet. And also for the Xbox we will get... Wait. Is this right? Are you sure? Damn. Well, as just confirmed, we have nothing for the Xbox. But hey, who needs good games when we have services? Lots of services, right? Many publishers were understandably scared of releasing new games close to the worldwide phenomenon of God of War Ragnarok. But not Game Freak. After all, they have the most valuable entertainment franchise in the world. And what would it mean if they were afraid of releasing their main storyline games just because of another big release? I'm Lucas Highland, this is What to Expect from Pokémon Scarlet and Violet, and before we move on, let me know in the comments what Pokémon would you take to a fight against Kratos, and why? Pokémon Scarlet and Violet are gonna be released in the 18th of November, and it's set in the new region called Paldea, which seems to be inspired in Portugal and Spain. Even the shape of the land seems to point towards this. But instead of sticking to the inspiration all around and also using other local culture features, they're going to make the main theme motorcycles. Don't get me wrong, the motorcycles community in Portugal and Spain is very strong, but it's not what these countries are mostly known for. And how do I know that? It's mainly because I live in Portugal and have been to Spain dozens of times. We can see some elements in the architecture that shows this inspiration to be true, like the style of the houses and also this building that's clearly inspired in the Sagrada Familia Cathedral in Barcelona, as well as the names of the schools the game is going to be set in, which will depend in the version of the game you pick. The schools are called Naranja, which is Spanish to orange, and Uva, that's Spanish and also Portuguese for grapes, which takes me to my next point. Can someone please tell me why did we went from fighting huge criminal organizations that try to make Pokemon their slaves, or kidnapping legendary Pokemon to reshape the world, land and sea, with deep social critics about political and ideological polarization, to fighting a group of bully students in a high school? It's just weird. Because these are going to be the next villains, a group of delinquents bully students from a school. And for me, it's a way better adventure to save the world than to find a way to stop the wedgie. But hey, honestly, the story was never the strong points in the Pokemon games, with a few exceptions of course, but you get it. The characters in this new game is definitely something that we are not used to. First of all, the main professors in the game, which also will depend on the version of the game you pick, are kinda hot. And they do not have the looks of an old nerd uncle who works in a lab of veterinarian exam analysis like Professor Oak has. Damn, this was a very accurate description of Professor Oak. And just so you know, I love the interactions we had with Professor Oak in the old games. Don't be the person who goes in the comments saying, "I love the Professor Oak," it's just a joke. You get it? Joke. Alright, also in this game we will see some different characters, some of them with very cliché looks. Like the biology teacher who looks, well, as cliché as a biology teacher can look. Also this weird feminine version of Todoroki from My Hero Academy. But I'm not gonna lie, in this version I liked the character designs more than I did the new Pokemon, but we are going to get into it right in a few moments. But again, something that I wish they changed but they won't is our rival, who in this game will be Nemona, who is a friend of ours. And although I love to demolish my friends in competitions, there is nothing better than winning against someone that we actually don't like. And I love the old approach of the 100% bad person that our rivals used to be. And I kinda miss this approach. And let me know in the comments what is your favorite rival in the Pokemon franchise. Mine is Gary, for obvious reasons. It seems like the Pokemon franchise is taking a much more family-friendly approach, and it probably will stay like this. Am I the only one who wants a less childish version of Pokemon? Don't know. This game has a huge responsibility of being a successor for the success Pokémon Legends Arceus was. They made a very expensive yet effective test to see if their fans were right, and they were. Game Freak used Legends Arceus to see if the mechanics the fans were asking would work well enough in the games, so they could introduce these same mechanics in a main game of the year. Because although Pokémon Legends Arceus is not a spin-off but a prequel, it is not the main game of the year. Everybody loved the new systems and showed that they didn't need to be so afraid of changing things to evolve the game. Because everybody knows, before Legends Arceus, the Pokémon franchise was definitely needing something new. And really something new, not just new Pokémon and new regional evolutions. Scarlet and Violet will reuse many of the systems from the previous game, like being an open world, but in this case, even a better version of it. Because now you will have a true open world experience instead of separating the game in big open world areas. Because in Legends Arceus, you had an open world, but not true open world because you're still having loading screens. In the new games, you will have 3 different paths. One is our classic experience of fighting gym leaders, and as always there will be 8 gyms in a Pokemon League. But this time you can choose the order you're gonna try to beat the gym leaders. Cool. The other path is something that we still don't have much information about, which is the treasure hunting. We know we are going to hunt some treasures, but we don't know what kind of treasures they are. But with the family-friendly approach that this franchise is getting, I guess we are not going after hot chicks with our over-leveled Pokemon. And the third path to progress in the game is yet not revealed, but I would put my money in some challenges to complete and progress with the Pokédex. This game is definitely going to be huge. I guess it's gonna be longer than Legends Arceus, that to complete the game and Pokédex it took me around 70 to 8 hours. And of course I didn't take the Pokédex to the perfect level, otherwise it would take me more than 100 hours, but I got all the Pokemon and completed a lot of them, you get it. As already very usual, this game will also have a regional evolution, and in this one they were called Terrestrialize. They really have to start thinking of better names for these evolutions. With this new Pokemon form, you will be able to turn your Pokemon into shiny crystals that you can wear in your neck, or even use them to the most useful thing ever. Asking your wife for forgiveness for winking to your neighbor Marlene. Wait, it's not for this? Oh, sorry, I just have to read the script, so yeah. Going on, you'll be able to give a new type to your Pokemon. So every Pokemon will come with a new random information that is the type to which it can terrestrialize. Terrestrialize, what a difficult name. So probably this will be the next grind challenge in the game, to find the same Pokemon but with different terrestrial types. And just so you know, if your Pokemon is for a specific type, let's say fire, and the terrestrial type is also fire, when this Pokemon is in the terrestrial form, I'm not sure if this is the name, but when the Pokemon is in the terrestrial form, it will only boost the attacks of that type. The terrestrial form is temporary and probably will only remain during one combat, and there will be some terrestrial types more rare than others for each Pokemon. For me, this is the mechanic they are adding to the game just to test how a third type in a Pokemon, because you can have a third type now temporarily, will affect the competitive scenario of Pokemon, making it possible to know how to balance and if it's possible to balance a third type. So my speculation is wait for a third type in future versions. I'm not sure, just speculation, maybe not gonna happen, but remember that if it happens, I call it first. One of the things that called the most attention in the game was the multiplayer. As you're claiming it to be a huge world to explore, the multiplayer in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet will not only be the online trading and battling as in previous games, but you are also going to be able to explore the whole world with up to 3 friends. Alright, they got me here. This is special. And also you'll be able to fight boss raids with your friends, with some interesting and different mechanics to heal your Pokemon during the battles. It kinda seems like what we saw in Pokemon Sword and Shield, but a little better, and with an interesting rhythm mechanic to heal your Pokemon. I don't know how it's gonna work, but it's interesting at least. Pokemon with rare terrestrial types will have higher chances of appearing in these raid battles. But how they're gonna decide who's gonna keep the rare Pokemon after the battle? I don't know, but I guess this game is gonna destroy more friendships and relationships than Uno and Monopoly. There will be also a very interesting system called Let's Go. Well, I guess they are running out of names to pick, but it's basically a mechanic that allows you to send one of your Pokemon to any direction in the wild, and they will walk around by themselves fighting wild and other Let's Go Pokemon automatically, and gathering the items they find for you. It's like you had a dangerous dog and you ordered him to go to a direction in the street, killing and stealing everything they see. Ethical? Nah, but who cares? We are literally beating wild creatures and kidnapping them to fight deadly violent matches against each other. Just one more illegal thing wouldn't be the end of the world. What's the new mechanic that you think that's gonna add the most to the game? Let me know in the comments. Once you are down there, don't forget to subscribe so you don't lose the next What to Expect videos. Some of the new Pokemon were already revealed, but many are still a mystery. I'm not gonna cover all of them, but you can find the official updated list in the first link in the description. And I'm also showing the current list of revealed Pokemon at the moment I'm editing this video on the screen. In my opinion, the new designs of Pokemon are not that good, with a few exceptions, but the legendaries and starters, for me, are among the worst so far. I feel they lack personality compared to most of the previous starters and legendaries. I'm not really a fan of the motorcycle lizard designs. They don't look imposing or mystical as the previous ones. And come on, Fuecoco just looks like an apple that's missing a quarter. The best designs in my opinion are Lechonk, Smoliv, Sprigatito, and Cloth, just because they really have a good personality. Not the most shiny stuff, but they actually look like Pokemon. Let me know if you agree in the comments. One thing that seems weird too is the fact that the legendaries will be your transformer mounts to all terrains, instead of the legendaries being those rare creatures that we struggle to find and that we value a lot in the end of the game. We'll probably have access to them really early in the game, because if we compare to Legends Arceus, we got the mounts really early in the game too. I don't know if we are going to be able to use the legendaries in combat, but I guess not, because we couldn't use the mounts in Legends Arceus in combat too. Please, can someone explain to me why does Koraidon, when he's in land, he walks with his paws or legs instead of his wheels? It's just absurd. It makes no sense. Also, new moves and new items will be added, but this information is not that interesting unless you are a competitive Pokemon player, so I will only include the official link in the description too. In one of the official videos about the new games in the official Pokemon YouTube channel, they said, "We've kept all the things you love about Pokemon." Does this include the awesome logic present in Legends Arceus, where we can catch a Pokemon without beating the hell out of them? Because to me it seems like torture, slavery, and the best way to make someone hate you and not like you and want to be your friend, like the Pokemon supposedly are. Because in the previews of Legends Arceus we could see them catching Pokemon without being spotted, but not the same in Scarlet and Violet. I know this way to catch Pokemon would change drastically the way things are in the competitive scenario, but it's more logical and less problematic in my opinion. So yeah. Anyway, something that was also in the preview videos but sadly will not be in the game is the voice acting. In late 2022, it seems difficult to me to accept that a game with the proportions of Pokemon don't have voice acting, mainly taking into account the enormous amount of text they made us read in Legends Arceus. And as you already know since at least the beginning of this video, it is not for lack of money. And with a big portion of the young generations in the world having some kind of reading disability like dyslexia or ADHD, it's more than time for them to add voice acting in the game. And if you watch the video I'm talking about, you will see that not only voice acting would fit perfectly inside of the game, but it would make the story way more engaging and would add a lot to the final product. I really hope they add voice acting in future Pokemon games. Enough reading. And this is the part where you all been waiting for. Is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet worth the hype? I think it depends. If you are waiting for something that's gonna revolutionize the Pokemon franchise, then yes, nah, it's not worth the hype and you are going to be frustrated when it comes out. But if you enjoyed Pokemon Legends Arceus and you are aware that the Pokemon franchise evolves very slowly, then yeah, it's worth the hype and you are going to have lots of fun. But the best way to really have fun in the video game industry is to calm down the hype and lower our expectations. This way you will never feel frustrated when a game is not what you were expecting, and if the game is good, it's just good. And it's always going to be a good surprise. And while I was making the research for this video, I noticed how many huge things they are adding to this game. So honestly, once they are releasing one big game or more per year, I don't blame them for the bad graphics. I'm Lucas Highland, this was what to expect from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, I have new videos every single week. Thank you for watching, and if you have nothing better to do, watch these other videos that YouTube is suggesting you to. I suggest you to watch the same videos because they know what they recommend to people. So yeah, go on, watch it. Thank you and see you in the next video.